guys, today we are going to be talking about parallelograms. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. So let me kind of clarify what a quadrilateral is. It's just where we have four sides. So a quadrilateral could be a square or a rectangle, but it always has four sides. But a parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. So altogether we have our four sides and two pairs are parallel. They look like railroad tracks. These two sides are parallel, and these two sides are also parallel. So we have two pairs of parallel sides. If we come down here are a few different parallelograms. We have our square, and it has two pairs of parallel sides. We have a rectangle, a rhombus, and a rhomboid. This is kind of like a tilted rectangle, and a rhombus is kind of like a tilted square. So when we come down here, let's just kind of look over our parallelograms again. We have a square, a rectangle, a rhombus, and a rhomboid. These are all parallelograms. They have four sides, and both sides are parallel. So down here, it has some questions for us to answer about our parallelogram. It asks us, our first question is, which angles of this parallelogram are acute? If you remember, our lesson last time was about angles, and an acute angle is a small angle. It's less than 90 degrees. Now, this might be really tricky to tell in your journal, but if we look at each vertex or point, we can kind of look at the angles. I know that D and B are smaller, or they're acute. If you can tell, there's not much space in between the two lines. So these are our acute angles. It would be B and D. Next, ask us which angles of this parallelogram are obtuse. If you remember, obtuse means the angle is big. It's more than 90 degrees. If you can tell with our other points, A and C, these angles are wider than our acute angles. They're bigger than 90 degrees. So our parallelogram points, or angles that are obtuse, are A and C. We have one more question. It asks us which side is parallel to side AB. So side AB goes from A to point B, which would be this. Which line would be parallel? Parallel means like railroad tracks. They'll never intersect. These lines will never touch. It would be this one, which is from point D to point C. So how we could write that is just DC. So those are our parallelograms. Remember, a parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has two pairs of parallel sides. So those are squares, rectangles, rhombuses, and rhomboids.